Good morning, everyone. Today's devotional is called The Nuns. I'm not referring to a religious sect of women, primarily Catholics, who are nuns. I'm referring to a group of people who have no religious affiliation whatsoever. And in the last 2 decades, that number has shockingly grown and grown. And it's up now over 30% of people who used to uh, be Christians. Christmas has become very secular, and most young people, the millennials and the Gen Zers, the younger they are, the less faith they seem to have. And uh, for a lot of them, maybe the majority of them, Christmas is nothing more than a secular holiday. So we are technically in a state of crisis uh, in terms of losing our youth. I actually know some people who call themselves atheists, and yet they follow Judeo Christian principles that their Christian parents follow. And I asked them about it. I said, "Do you understand that you're following basically the Ten Commandments?" And they admitted it, and they said, "Well, we got our values from our parents, and that's great. But I wonder how much of that is happening today when people don't even respect their parents' Christian values anymore." Certainly, the upswing on abortions and failed marriages and the wanton violence that occurs, the insanity of the road rage that happens. People kill people for the smallest transgressions today. They kill people they don't even know. Mass shootings are occurring. Just recently, we've had two 15-year-old girls uh, involved in mass shooting attempts, and uh, you never heard of these things a long time ago. This is all new stuff. So, what exactly is happening? So, there is a book out if you're interested in this. It's by a fellow named Ryan P. Burge. It's called The Nuns: Where They Come From, Who They Are, and Where They Are Going. And it talks about this phenomenon. So, what can we do as parents? I've got a whole bunch of numbers here, of statistics that I can throw at you that uh, I'm not going to do because I don't want you to get sidelined with a bunch of numbers. So I'm going to suggest you just go out to Google and Google the nuns, Nones. And if you want to see those numbers, you can. But let's not detract from this conversation with this number and this number and this number. So it's pretty dismal when you read the statistics how these numbers have increased and increased and increased. What's going on? I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that parents aren't overtly acting the part of Christians. At best, many people just show up at church and that's it. Outside of that, they don't show any really outward signs of being Christians in the sense that there's very little talk about God in the family, in their social lives. They don't refer a lot to it. I know that I have relatives that roll their eyes if I sometimes want to say grace. And when I get in those kind of situations, honestly, uh, I've gotten to the point I don't know what to do with family. I don't want to isolate family because I want to give them an example at least of the Bible and of Jesus. So I'll say grace silently rather than irritate people there, when I see the eye rolling and such. So uh, I'm going to give you a Bible verse, which I've done several times in the past, but this is very uh, pertinent for today. And um, I'm going to give you some excerpts out of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 9. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm going to read parts of it. Mark this. There will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power, having nothing to do with such people. Um, they are people of depraved minds who, as far as the faith is concerned, are rejected. And they will not get very far because, as in the case of those people, their folly will be clear to everyone. Um, Now, having arguments with our children um, and having them cut themselves off from us, I personally don't think that's the way to go. If you do it, you're either with us or you're against us, and I understand the zealousness of that, but I have relatives who frankly just don't believe. And what I'm trying to do over a period of time is to show them the difference between how a Christian acts and how other people act. And I do believe it's making some impact. I don't know how much, but it's certainly better to behave like a Christian and refer to it that you're doing it at times than to just ignore it and try and blend in, because that will get us nothing. So ponder these thoughts. Look at your families. Look at the times we're in. Look around at what people are doing. How much godliness do you see? And think about how you can show people uh, godly biblical acts and perhaps emulate Jesus. And maybe we can help stem the tide. You have a good day.